We are live. I hope everybody had a wonderful lunch. And we're recording on Zoom. All right, I think we have the whole process together today. So already starting with a win. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday. We are coming to the final countdown. We have 6 episodes after today. So seven more episodes until the end of the year. And today we are focusing on reducing stress by balancing Kapha Dosha. So let me just shift my phone right here so everybody can see properly. Welcome, welcome. So nice having everybody today. What a beautiful group. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Parade. Hello, Mary. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Tabitha. Hello, Kim. Welcome. So nice to see everybody today on this Wednesday. And so this is our third part of talking about reducing stress through the different doshas. We've talked about Vata dosha. Last week we talked about Pitta dosha. Today we are talking all about Kapha. My Kapha friends, we are not leaving you out. No way, no how. So let me introduce myself. If we've never ever met before, I want to introduce myself. My name is Lauren Baptiste, and I am an executive coach and founder of Acheloa Wellness. My firm helps individuals just like you overcome the effects of stress so that you can thrive. I do this by giving the tools, the techniques, and the mindset shifts that empower you to step into your greatest self. So it's been an awesome year. We've had so many episodes, 52 minus 40, I don't know where we 52 minus 7. We're like at about episode 45. I think we skipped 1 week. So pretty much 44 episodes of ways that you can feel better, tap into your greatest self, abundant tools, techniques, and mindset shifts to deal with boundaries and balance and just feeling great. So I'm so excited that I can support you through this journey. So let's dive into it today. We are talking all about Kapha, and I want to make sure you have everything you need to thrive. Now, if you've never heard of Kapha, you've never heard of Ayurveda, check out some of our last episodes and you can learn more about it. We go into what is Ayurveda, how it affects you, and what's going on. But today we're going a little deeper. We're talking about one of the doshas, Kapha. And Kapha is out of the 5 elements of air, space, fire, water, and earth. Kapha is the last 2, water and earth. So with water and earth, it's so different than how we balance the feelings of excess, space, and air. So it's very interesting of if you're noticing that you have kapha symptoms, or if that you're experiencing kapha things happening in your body, there are ways to balance it. They're going to be so different than if your partner has more of a fiery constitution, or if your boss is more Vata-like in nature. Hi, Mary. So good to see you. Welcome. So Ayurveda, just to go over it again, just so that everybody's on the same page before we dive into Kapha, these doshas in Ayurveda make up our anatomy, our physical structure. They make up our physiology, right? How we function, how we think, our psychology. But the thing that is the most challenging, right, is that when they go wrong, they create disease or pathology. So today we're talking about water and earth, and then understanding that a little bit more so that we can feel better. Hi, Ira, welcome. So if we are Kapha, if we are water and earth, some of the qualities that make up who we are, how we might be feeling in our mind or in our body, the qualities include cool or cold, heavy or slow, dull, stable, and maybe too stable, and then even oily. So if you're like, okay, what do these qualities have anything to do with who I am or what's going on in my life right now? Stick around, because these qualities permeate through us, through our health, and they'll show up like feeling stuck, feeling heavy, feeling clouded in our mind. So if you're ever feeling like maybe you're experiencing these types of maybe like, even being at home too much can almost feel too dense, too heavy, too challenging. Maybe even you notice that in this time, although you might not be sick with COVID, gratefully, you might have a lot of cough, cold, or congestion happening. You may notice that you have heaviness in your stomach or really poor appetite, sluggish digestion, slow bowel movements. Maybe you retain a lot of weight or water, having swelling or puffiness in our body. That can be physical traits of kapha due to our surroundings. Now, if you're experiencing in the mind kapha, right? If kapha is infiltrating the mind, it can feel like lethargy, depression, lack of motivation, attachment, greed, envy, stubbornness, or even sadness. So, are you experiencing any of those things? And do these resonate with you? And so, if you're saying, well, maybe, but not really, then I encourage you to check a prior episode. Maybe you're more of the fiery constitution, feeling competitiveness, redness, blotchy thing happening in your skin, heartburn, right? That would be your pitta episode. And if you're feeling, because of the stress that you're dealing with, more dryness, constipation, irregular menstruation, IBS, even like hard to digest, variable digestion, right? That could be vata. So take a moment right now, and maybe this episode isn't perfect for you, but maybe this is the medicine that you've been waiting for, because we always, right, when I hear what's going on in the Ayurveda world, we're always focusing on our vata friends, but kapha has its place too. Now, okay, maybe I'm experiencing these certain types of things, Lauren. Like, how does that relate to what's happening in my own life or with my own work? Well, I'll tell you, in Ayurveda, one thing that we love to share and that expresses, and it's really the essence, is that we are a cause of imbalance of how we're functioning. And so there's a word, prajna aparada, a big Sanskrit word, and essentially it means crimes against wisdom. So if I am feeling this heaviness and this cloudiness and these just symptoms, these qualities of kapha, then I have an opportunity to change that. But if I'm eating heavy, thick, dense, oily, sticky foods, or maybe even going outside with really dry, really wet hair, right? If I'm doing things or over oilinating my skin, what I'm actually going to be doing is exacerbating that kapha in my system. And so what can happen is then kapha is a protector. So it is what creates our subcutaneous fat. It's what gives us layers. It's what gives us protection, right? So even that mucosal lining in our stomach is all based on kapha. But if we have too much kapha happening, then that's where like your stomach starts to feel weird, or you're always spitting up, or there's too much wet going on. Thank you for the thumbs up. So nice to have you. So what we want to do today is help you find balance. And in Ayurveda, we say like increases like, which we just talked about, adding more cold, more oily, more dense, but opposites create balance. So when we're thinking of opposites, this is where we think of vata qualities, of things that embody space and air to balance kapha. The only thing that these two doshas, vata and kapha, share is cold. So we want to do the opposite of that with warm. So we have somebody joining on our Zoom, and I just want to make sure that they can enter. Uh-oh, and I'm putting everything on hold, but hopefully we're all good there. Okay, awesome. Keep on rolling. Welcome, friend who just joined on the phone on Zoom. All right, so we are talking about kapha and ways to balance kapha. So we do that through our diet, we do it through lifestyle, and we do it overall by changing things in our habits. All right, everyone's good. Okay, phone down, keep going. Sorry guys, lots of moving screens here. So as we're talking about ways to balance kapha, we're inviting space and we're inviting air. So what does that mean in our diet? If we are experiencing that heaviness in the belly and just feeling kind of sluggish overall, or even really slow in our bowels, a few things that we could do: dry, brisk, exfoliating massage. So often I'll talk to people, when I talk to individuals, they'll say, okay, is dry brushing good for me? A lot of times it's not. But for our kapha friends, if you're feeling that heaviness, a dry, brisk massage can be really empowering. Dry brushing is great for our kapha friends who are feeling that heaviness, because what it does is it boosts circulation. Think about a potted plant. When you add water to it, how heavy that plant is. Or even when you were a kid and you had a bucket of sand and water, it felt like you were lifting like a 50-pound weight. It was so heavy. And that's what happens to our kapha friends if there's too much kapha in us. And so what we're doing is we're inviting more space and air to lighten up. So by circulating, by moving, by stimulating the body, by stimulating the mind, we start to get out of that stuck routine. A few things that are really beneficial from a lifestyle perspective: sauna, steaming, right? Those are amazing. Sauna, especially because it's warm and it's drying. And those are both opposites of what kapha is, which is cold and even wet. So we want to incorporate more of those types of activities. Welcome, Kate. Other things that we want to consider for kaphas in terms of lifestyle is getting up earlier. Before sunrise is ideal. If you wake up after sunrise, it can be really challenging to get up in the morning. You may feel extra sluggish. Have you ever felt like that? Maybe sometime you wake up at 5 in the morning and you're like, I am wide awake, but I don't want to wake up at 5 in the morning. But then you go to bed, you wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours later, and you are so sluggish, exhausted the entire day. Maybe you feel like you got hit by a truck, right? That heaviness. And that is where waking up early is going to benefit you, because it's in the vata time of day. Other things that benefit from a lifestyle perspective: really stimulating breathwork practices, Kapalabhati, Bhastrika, Agnisara, other things that are stimulating and circulating and getting heat in the body and movement flowing. That is going to benefit our kaphas. Other warming activities: going outside, exercise, walking, hiking, dancing, jogging. Do something that's fun, right? Usually kaphas who are more water and earth don't necessarily want to get out and go on a 20-mile hike, but maybe they'll go for a 30-minute walk, right? Do invite things that are fun, that are light in nature, right? It's more fun to do something, it feels light, as opposed to this like 50 minutes of high intensity workout. Do you feel the difference? Get them going. And then once they're going, just keep moving and they'll be fine. They'll find their balance. Things that impact diet now. So we've talked about lifestyle with those balancing the qualities of kapha, and the same applies to our food. We want to incorporate foods that are dry in nature, rough, light, warm, right? So these types of things are really beneficial. But what does that look like in my real diet? This can be foods that are astringent or bitter or pungent. Those are the tastes in Ayurveda that we stick to. And if you're still like, what does that even mean? Can you break that down further? Yes, let's go further. So what are dry foods, or what are even astringent foods, right? Foods that are very drying. So beans are very drying. Think about how much they will suck up if like you have dry beans and you soak them in water. They absorb the water to rehydrate. They will do the same in your body if there's a lot of excess mucus. So beans are great. A lot of oats and dry grains, millet, barley, quinoa, great. They're so super dry and they help absorb. Grilled veggies are amazing for our kaphas because they are light, but they're warm. See how we're like starting to pull it together? So you could say, okay, well, is oatmeal great? Yes, it might be wet and more like, it has that mushy consistency, but the nature of oatmeal is drying. So that is totally fine. Other things that benefit kaphas are spices, bringing in black pepper, ginger, turmeric, these spices that help boost our digestion. They help enliven food, lighten food, make it easier to process. So that would be really great. Now, here's some good news for my kaphas is that you can get away with coffee. Vatas and pittas cannot. They should not be drinking very much coffee. And I know for some of you, coffee is a morning staple. We'll talk about that. We talked about that even a couple of weeks ago. We had a whole episode about it, but I want to focus that even a little in moderation can help stimulate or boost our friends who experience a lot of kapha. If you have that like sunken heaviness where you feel like you don't even want to get out of bed or you're so exhausted you can't even get your day moving, maybe a little coffee would help. This isn't like the Dunkin' Donuts 40-ounce coffee, right? We're talking about a small 8-ounce, maybe black coffee for kaphas that can help boost and stimulate the body. I want kaphas to think about, so now we talked about all these types of foods that you can incorporate. Let's talk about some of the foods that you want to avoid. Hey, Leela, welcome. We have such a big crew today. Amazing. So foods that we want to avoid are foods that continue to accumulate more kapha, which would be foods that are heavy, like meat, foods that have a lot of sugar, because that has the sweet taste. Sugar is made of water and earth. It's that sticky that retains in the body. So you want to avoid those types of foods. Dairy, milk can be really hard on kaphas. It slows the digestion further. It accumulates. And sometimes we need a little bit of nourishment, but dairy can be really heavy. So even consider a dairy-free milk, right? Consider a coconut ice cream that is coconut milk based, not like coconut plus milk. You know what I'm talking about. But we want to invite foods that feel lighter. Popcorn could be great for our kaphas if you need a snack, and even putting some nice spices on it can be wonderful for your digestion. So hopefully you're kind of catching where I'm going with this and what you can do to balance, because as you're thinking of your next steps, it's important to have ideas of what you can do. And so I think as we're coming to this, we're already 18 minutes in, time flies. I want you to feel empowered. If you're feeling like, hey, I am just so sluggish, I could barely even watch this. If you've made it through this whole episode, amazing, and congratulations. If you're feeling like you have a lot of kapha happening for you, or maybe you're experiencing a lot of stress in your life that's accumulating in some way that's negatively benefiting you, and it's really plateauing you and stepping into your greatest potential, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to reach out because I know that what you're feeling right now in your body might be the story that you're living, but it's not it's one page of your story. It's not the whole book. So I want you to feel like, hey, if I'm tired of feeling so sluggish, here is my opportunity to step in fully, step in and do something for myself and benefit from myself going forward. So if that's something you feel called to, I'm doing Ayurvedic health consults through this month of November for $30 off. So you can go to my website, you can check out even this post after the fact. I think it's called New You November for the promo code, but even ping me wherever you're seeing this on Facebook, on Instagram, even here in the Zoom chat, if you want to take advantage of that special discount. So that is it for today. It has been an amazing 3-week journey through the doshas and how we can balance stress. But ultimately, the answer is if we're feeling the effects of stress and they're limiting our potential, then we have to do something about it. Don't let this pandemic change who you are. Don't let this time of your life just be 2 years that we sweep under the rug. This isn't going anywhere. This isn't changing. So we need to thrive in this. We're beyond this survival mode. We need to do the things that boost our digestion, that make us healthy, that keep us mentally feeling sharp, that keep us empowered. So before I go on an entire soapbox, I'm going to stop right there. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Tag replay wherever you're watching this. If you want me to reach out to you, that's an awesome way I can continue to connect and keep the conversation going. Reach out to me, hello@acheloawellness.com. That's ACHELOA, wellness spelled out.com. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be with you each and every week. We had an awesome big group today. So thank you everybody who participated, who joined, who shared their comments. I will see you next week. We have 6 episodes left. I cannot believe it. This year is flying by. Some ideas that we will be sneaking in towards is Ayurveda and pregnancy. And maybe we'll have some time before the end of the year, before the end of our series, if you have a special topic you'd like to talk about. So if there's something that's been on your mind that you want to discuss, that you want heard, and you don't want maybe some private one-on-one, just send me an email and be like, you know what? I would love if your Wellness Wednesday talked about this. Let me know I'm here. This is my community for you. All right, everybody, it's been 20 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up right now. I wish you have the best Wednesday, the best rest of your week ever. Yeah, here we are. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week. Thanks again. Bye.